And we're just saying that energy is both the physical and mental energy, the mental strength that allows you to do things. And what we're looking for is states of flow. When in our daily work life or in our regular life do we have these states of flow? And flow is being completely involved in an activity for its own sake. Your ego falls away, time flies, every action is followed inevitably from the previous one. It's like playing jazz. Flow is the source of mental energy. And that comes from the psychologist who discovered the state of flow called Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, how could we map in a week what gives us energy and what drains us, what makes us exhausted, and how is our energy level related to this idea of flow? So we come up with a very simple graph. And for those of you who can see it, there's a horizontal bar is time, and that's really a week from your Monday to your Sunday, or however you want to do your week. I do Monday to Sunday. And then if I do some kind of activity and I just look at my calendar and I pull up all my activities that I do every week, and the test is when I'm done with that activity, am I just drained and exhausted because it was a negative activity? Or am I energized and more excited because the activity actually gave me energy? Now, I could be tired at the end of the activity. That's not the same thing as not being energetic. And I might be mad at the end of something, but that's not the same thing as being energetic. This is one of those things where I got to really know myself and I've got to assess it. So then I just create a bar chart for every day. And I'll show you in mine. It's pretty straightforward. I have an art class on Monday. I do a budget meeting, office hours, faculty meetings. I just put it all down. And the art class is a really high energy, wonderful experience. The budgeting meeting's always negative. I love my office hours for students. That's a positive experience, and on and on and on. So you lay out your week. And normally what I do is I just tell people, go look at your calendar, put down all the things that you do repetitively every week, and assess whether they're high or low energy, or they could be in the middle. Like the faculty meeting on this chart is in the middle. Sometimes it's a good meeting and we're very interesting. And sometimes you just talk about, logistics and budgets and stuff, and it's boring and it's a waste of time. I lay it all out. And then that's step one. What do you notice? Step two. Well, I noticed that my art class is a total flow state. I love art class. It's fantastic. It's a figure drawing class. So I go on Monday nights, and for 3 hours, we draw nudes. Naked people stand on stage and we draw them. It's amazing. It's so much fun. It's really hard, by the way, to draw people. That's why I'm studying it. And teaching is a flow state. I love being in the state of flow when I'm teaching and interacting with students, particularly now that we're live again. It's so much better. I noticed that the budget meeting was kind of annoying. And then I was coaching my master's students. We have no control over who becomes an undergraduate at Stanford. That's all handled by general admissions. But in the graduate program, we pick them. And I'm coaching them on their thesis projects. And it was a negative. And that seemed odd to me. It should be a positive. I like these students, but it came out negative. So put your energy map out Monday through Sunday. Assess, what do you notice? Some flow states, some other states, annoying, confusing, I'm not sure. And then you say, okay, here's the set the bar low method. What's the smallest change I can make to improve my energy, and what feels accessible? And there's a bunch of techniques that you can change the location of something. Sometimes just moving from some place to someplace else changes the energy. You can resequence activities. Sometimes it's just a matter of surrounding a negative with 2 positives, and then you forget it. You can change who you're interacting with, because some people are a negative. You can combine 2 for 1. You can time box things. If you've got a negative thing, just put it in a time box. You can control it. Reprioritize, reframe, or compromise and defer. So what I did is I said, well, I can move the budget meeting, which I have to do. I can move it between 2 positives, walking and office hours, and then I'll forget it. There's a thing in psychology called the best last effect. In any experience, you will only remember the peak of the experience and the last thing that happened. You can use the best last effect to put something really great at the end of the week, something amazing in the middle of the week, and the other negatives will sort of disappear from your memory. I changed the location. This is a classic. I was coaching my students in the studio, but it was too noisy and too busy, and I wanted to have a really one-on-one connection. Now I've moved it over to the patio outside of the studio, and I buy them a coffee before we have the meetings. I buy the coffee in order to raise the status of the students so that they feel more comfortable talking about their projects with me. Now that meeting is fantastic because I changed the location and I changed the way we do it. Date night is amazing. I just double down on date night. I get more flow. That's, a chance to connect with my wife. House cleaning and stuff I do on Saturdays instead of Sundays so that I don't end the week with a bummer of house cleaning. And I just compromised and deferred the fact that the faculty meeting is not under my control. But if I decide that it's okay that it's mediocre, that's different than letting it bug me all the time. So I changed 4 things, and now my week is incredibly energetic. And the goal is, if I ask you, hey, Sarah, how's your week go? You should be able to say, it was a great week. I remember this one thing we did on Wednesday and this amazing thing we did just before we left the office. Or I had this fantastic interview. And I always schedule those on the last thing I do on Fridays because I know that's going to be high energy. And when people do the shift from trying to time manage to energy manage, it's amazing. They have a huge flip. Manage energy, not time, gives you a better sense of your engagement. What are you paying attention to? What are you spending energy on? And also, it changes your work-life balance, your sense of balance. Flow is a great indicator that you're engaged. Energy and engagement and meaning are correlated. If at the end of the week you say it was a great week, it was high energy, I really enjoyed most of the things I did, the stuff I remember was really positive, you're going to, after 6 to 8 weeks, which is about the time it takes to make a behavior shift, you're going to notice that you feel like your work is more meaningful. So that's basically it. The shift is from thinking about, why am I so busy all the time? Why am I always late for meetings? Saying the stuff I spend time on, that I'm intentional about my energy, turns out to change the way I experience my week. And when I've made that shift, once again, what's the goal? Freedom and self-authoring. I'm now making the week I want, not letting the week happen to me. I'm creating the week that I want, and I'm engaged in the things that I want to spend my time and energy on. It's a huge shift, and people love it.